Hey guys, it's LEGO Boy Z3. Today I'm going to show you my best solves from Pueblo Open 2018. So today is just going to be a quick little video overviewing the competition that I was at last weekend, Pueblo Open 2018. I'm going to go through every single event, show you my best solve from that round, and talk about how I did in reference to my goals. So for my first event, 2x2, I knew I probably wasn't going to beat my PB average, so instead I just set a goal of sub 5, and I actually did do that in the first round with a 4.94 average, which I was actually kind of surprised about, but I did it, I met my goal. And again, I don't really care about 2x2 as an event, I don't really practice it anyway, but I did make it to round 2 and I got a 5.45 average, which is probably more typical of me. Now for 3x3, my current PB average in competition was a 14.90, so I just set my goal at beating that average because I was pretty sure I could do it. I definitely have improved in 3x3 over the past few months. In the first round though, I only got a 15.39, which is pretty close, but I didn't quite make it because I had some times that weren't quite as great. Now going into the second round of 3x3, I was actually a whole lot more confident about breaking that PB. I was getting a ton of 14-second solves in my practice, a lot more than I ever have before, and so I was pretty sure I was able to do it, but in the end I actually only got a 15.16. I believe I actually messed up OLL on my last solve, and so I was very, very close to getting that PB average, but that one solve was the reason I didn't get it. But then something amazing happened to me that had actually never happened to me before. Because this was such a small competition, I believe there were only something around 60 people there, I actually made it to the final round of 3x3, so I placed 14th in the second round, and in the third round I managed to get in. Unfortunately though, I didn't have a lot of time to practice, so I wound up only getting a 16.44 average. Now for 4x4, this was probably my most anticipated event because I had been practicing a lot, and I've actually improved by over 10 seconds since the last time that I competed, and so I set my goal at just sub 1 because I've been getting a whole lot of sub 1 solves. I was probably averaging around 57 in my practice. Unfortunately in the first round, as you see here, I got some good solves, a 58, 56, but then I wound up getting a 109 and a 115, which just threw off my average to a 103. Fortunately though, it was still a 3-second improvement over my old PB average, and it just barely got me to the second and final round in 4x4 at the competition. Now in this one I also kind of messed up. You see I got a 110 and a 111, and I still managed to pull off a 1 flat average, which was another 3-second improvement. So if it weren't for those bad solves, it would easily have been like a 57, 56. So yeah, in the future I'll be able to improve another 3 seconds at my next competition hopefully. Now for 5x5, I hadn't actually practiced the event a lot, but because of all my practice for 4x4, I actually had gotten a little bit faster on average than my current official PB average of a 205, but in the end I wound up messing up a whole lot. As you can see here, I actually got a DNF on one of my solves. It was going to be a PB, like a 153 or something like that, but then I accidentally did the wrong PLL at the end and wound up with just a J-perm off from being solved. Anyway, in the end I also messed up another solve. I got a really big lockup on one and got a 238, but in the end I did also end up with a PB single of a 154, which you can see here. Now for Skewb, I've generally been averaging around 5.5 seconds. My current PB in competition is a 5.94, which I actually set twice at my last competition, so of course I set my goal at beating that PB. But in this round, I actually wound up getting a bunch of really bad scrambles. I messed up on a few of them, and some of them I just got really bad cases, so I wound up with a 7.24 average, which still got me 4th place in the competition, but had I got a PB average, or even the average that I got in my last competition, it would have been 1st place really easily. So yeah, that's kind of disappointing, but whatever. And one-handed is yet another event that I also messed up on pretty badly. My current PB was a 29 and I was averaging just under 30, so I figured I could probably beat it with a little bit of luck, but in the end I messed up a lot of my solves. I got a lot of 30s, even a 43, which was really bad, just messed up a PLL, and in the end even my best solve didn't even break 30, so yeah, didn't do too great, got a 34 average. Now the event that I probably did overall the best at this competition was actually one that I wasn't expecting, blindfolded. So my current PB was just a 552 single in competition, nothing too good, but in practice I was able to get some sub 5 singles, so I figured I would just set my goal at getting a sub 5 single, which I did on my very first solve, getting a 440, which was my new PB. So I just decided to go into my next 2 solves and see what happens. The next one wasn't quite as good of a scramble, so I got a 521 single, which is actually still pretty good for me, especially getting a success. I wasn't really expecting to get 2 successes in a row, because at my last competition I got 3 DNFs. But then going on to my final solve, I realized if I were to get a 3rd success, I would be able to get a complete mean of 3 in competition, which is basically where you get 3 successful blind solves in a row, so you're able to average out those 3 times and get it filled in on your WCA profile. Which is something that not a lot of people do because it's very easy to get 1 or 2 DNFs during a blind average and wind up with a mean of a DNF. Anyway, I went on to my 3rd solve, and it was actually a very easy scramble. It had like 3 edges already solved, and so I made sure to be very, very careful and not miss anything, checking everything multiple times, and I wound up getting a little bit of a slower time, but still pretty average for me, a 512. And so I actually got 3 successes in a row. I got a successful mean of 3 of 504.67. So yeah, that was all the events for this competition. There were definitely some events that I could have improved on individually, but overall I'm very happy with how I did in general. I met a lot of my goals, and I even got some things I wasn't expecting, like that very good mean of 3 in 3 blind. Also, I don't think I really deserved this, but a lot of the other fast people at this competition messed up their 3x3 blindfolded solves, so I wound up actually getting second place overall in the round with that 440. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time.
Second place, Alex Walker with a time of 4 minutes, 40 seconds, and